You're listening to GCN, the Genesis Communication Radio Network.
Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Webster Tarpley here in Washington, D.C. Obama has declared war on Pakistan, and things are beginning to orient themselves around this, including the orchestration of domestic false flag terrorism. We have the interesting case now that an interview that I did with Bonnie Faulkner at KPFA, Berkeley, San Francisco, has gone on, and there were questions about how does the breakup of Pakistan prevent this much-touted oil and natural gas pipeline operation between Iran and China. Well, again, you have to look at the map. You've got to look at the map, and it's got to be a map that shows you where Baluchistan would be located, where Pashtunistan is located. These ethnic groups, you better figure out Punjab and Sindh, because you're going to need those too. You're going to need to know the various ethnic groups of the region, and then imagine simply a line. Draw a line from the Iranian oil fields across Iran and then into Pakistan, up Pakistan, across the various ethnic groups, crossing the Himalayas, above Kashmir, into China. Now imagine, how are you ever going to build that if there's a civil war going on between the Baluchis, or better yet, among the Baluchis, the Pashtuns, the Punjabis, and the Sindhis? And even if you could build something, look at the situation, for example, with Ukraine, right, where the pipelines are there, but they're constantly blocked because the mini-state, micro-state approach that triumphed in the wake of the fall of the Soviet Union now allows this crazy Yushchenko NATO puppet in Kiev to cut off the natural gas. And the attempt of Russia is now to build the Nord Stream pipeline and the South Stream pipeline, Nord Stream down the Baltic and the South Stream across the Black Sea, to prevent these NATO puppet states from constantly cutting off the gas, in the other case it would be the oil also, and creating these international crises. Just locate that port of Gwadar in the lower left-hand corner, the southwest corner of Pakistan. Imagine that you had a tanker terminal there. You could have a pipeline from there into China. That would already do a lot, especially for Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and some other places where a pipeline might not go, or Abu Dhabi. See where that will go if you have the breakup of Pakistan into component parts. It won't go anywhere. Even if it does, it will be constantly blocked, because as soon as you have these puppet states, if one of them is on one side, the other is going to be on the other, right? We know that, White Russia goes with Moscow, therefore Ukraine has to go with NATO, and so on and so on. So the idea is the export of the Afghan civil war into Pakistan. Now, has anybody figured this out? I guess the one coming close in U.S. public life, Senator Russ Feingold, Democrat of Wisconsin. So here he is on ABC This Week on Sunday. This is his question: why do you want to send troops to where Al-Qaeda is not? Again, Al-Qaeda, we know on this broadcast, Al-Qaeda is a fraud. Al-Qaeda is the Arab Legion of the CIA. It's generally controlled. It's a controlled asset most of the time. But we'll bracket the fact that we know that Al-Qaeda is a big fraud. Here's what Feingold says. Pakistan, in the border region near Afghanistan, is perhaps the epicenter of global terrorism, although Al-Qaeda is operating all over the world, in Yemen, Somalia, North Africa, Southeast Asia. Why would we build up 100,000 or more troops in parts of Afghanistan, including places that are not even near the border? The buildup will be, for example, in Helmand province. That is not on the Pakistan border. It's Waziristan. So I'm wondering, what exactly is the strategy, says Feingold, given the fact that we have seen there is a minimal presence of al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, but a significant presence in Pakistan. It just defies common sense that a huge boots-on-the-ground operation in a place where these people are not is the right strategy. It doesn't make any sense. Well, of course, the answer to that is they are there to goad, persecute, antagonize, strafe, kill, and radicalize the population of Helmand, who are Pashtuns, and drive them into the Taliban and drive them into Pakistan at the same time. And it looks like Feingold does have an inkling. He says U.S. policy in Afghanistan could push terrorists and extremists into Pakistan and further destabilize the region. Here's what Feingold says on this ABC News program. You know, I asked the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Mullen, and Holbrooke, the U.S. AFPAC envoy, a while ago, that if there is a risk that if we build up troops in Afghanistan, that will push more extremists into Pakistan. Push more extremists into Pakistan. Bingo. They couldn't deny it. And this week, Prime Minister Gilani of Pakistan specifically said that his concern about the buildup is that it will drive more extremists into Pakistan. So I think it's just the opposite. This boots-on-the-ground approach alienates the Afghan population, encourages the Taliban to further coalesce with al-Qaeda, which is the complete opposite of what the U.S. national security interest would dictate. All right, so within the crazy world of assuming that al-Qaeda is real, this seems to understand that the net effect is to increase the destabilization of Pakistan. A couple of other things coming out of these hearings now. Gates has been to Iraq and Afghanistan now in the last couple of days. And in Afghanistan, Gates essentially says to Karzai, the U.S. will be in Afghanistan for the unforeseen future. In other words, there's no pullout date. Gates says, look, you know, this so-called beginning of the pullout in 2011, this is simply a mark on the wall, I think they're saying it now. It's not binding. The U.S. presence in Afghanistan is open-ended, is indefinite. The commitment goes way beyond it. And Karzai signaled his understanding to the same degree, saying, we can't pay for our army anytime in the next 15 years, so we need the U.S. to be in Afghanistan for the next 15 years. Karzai has a timeline, in effect, that goes out to 2024, 15 years. 15 years, says Karzai, you're going to be paying, and it gets you into $130 billion and so forth, because the cost of an Afghan army guy is $25,000 per soldier per year. For the U.S., it's $1 million per soldier per year. So this is now the pattern. The U.S., by the way, the U.S. is pushing, Special Forces Command is pushing community defense. Community defense. That sounds like the strategic hamlets of Vietnam, and indeed it is. Petraeus is saying we've got to essentially bribe, we've got to do this awakening operation where you turn around various Taliban units. This is called Force Reintegration Cell. The Force Reintegration Cell, pioneered by Petraeus, is under the command of a British retired general, obviously an expert in Frank Kitson, who was used by Petraeus for this purpose in Iraq during the creation of the civil war there. So look at all this stuff. Now, the other interesting thing is that the demagogic presentation of U.S. domestic terror plots is all retargeting Afghanistan. Notice, people, not Iran, nix Iran, all Pakistan. We have 5 young Pakistani males from Northern Virginia. They're between 19 to 25. They have been arrested in Lahore, in the Punjab region, I believe. And the trick is they are being linked to Jaish Jaish-e-Mohammed. Jaish-e-Mohammed, which is a Pakistani outlawed terrorist group. And we find that Steve Emerson, oh my gosh, speaking for forces friendly to the Mossad, I guess we have to say, that Steve Emerson says, oh, I was tracking this before this became public knowledge. Jaish-e-Mohammed implicated with Pakistanis in the Washington, D.C. area. We'll have a few things more to say about Jaish in a minute.